Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Carolina Trust Federal Credit Union.
There's something so real about living local, about the people and the places where we live. Just look at all the reasons why we call this home. And I'm loving living local. I'm living local 'cause it's where I love to be.
Hey there, you're watching Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel, and I'm August, Carolina Trust Brand Ambassador. Today we are joined by some very special guests. We have Jess Winook, who is the Executive Director at the Grand Strand Humane Society, and we have Lindsay Rankin, who is the President of the Board of Directors for the Humane Society. So thank you guys so much for joining us. And as you can see, we have some other special guests with us today. This is my miniature Dachshund, Chili. And we also have my Doberman, Theo. Come here, Theo, say hello. So, with May being, the kickoff of this summer, pet owners like myself and like you all, we want to involve our animals in the different things we're doing in the summer. So, I'm assuming you both have pets. I know you were talking about your foster fail prior to the segment starting. So.
Yes, that was Bear. Bear is my 95-pound foster fail. I also have a dog named Nova who actually got me involved in the shelter to begin with. And I have two kitty cats, Torty and Moonshine.
Oh, wow. And what about you, Jess? You have lots of pets, or the ones at the Humane Society kind of enough to get you through?
I have lots of pets at home. In addition to my animals there at the shelter, I have 3 dogs and several cats, all from Grand Strand Humane Society.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. And so, like I was saying, with pets in the summer is a little bit different as a pet owner than, other times of year, especially being so hot here at the beach. What are some tips that you have for pet owners at home who, are looking to kind of take their pets out and about with them?
So it's very important that you always have cold water for your dog. If you're going out to the beach, if you're going out for a walk, even if it's a short period of time, you never know how quickly they're going to get overheated. Also, stress adds to that situation, so be aware if you're taking them to an outdoor festival or a parade, that they're going to get overheated more quickly because they might be stressed out and anxious with all of the folks around. So always have cold water. Make sure you check your AC in your car, make sure it's working before you get on the road. Yeah. You never know when it's going to stop, and that can be a pretty scary situation if you've got your animal in the car with you. So always check that before you leave the house.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I know you were mentioning the beach. Recently, Chili and I actually went to the beach, and I had checked online, before to make sure that, here you go, Chill, you want to relax? I had checked before to make sure that we were in a pet-friendly beach location, but I guess the dates didn't line up online. What are some area beaches that are pet-friendly for folks at home that want to bring their pets with them, or maybe people that are coming in from vacation that, want their pets to enjoy them on their beach vacation?
Sure, so there is always a leash law on any beaches here in the Myrtle Beach area, so always make sure you have your dog on leash when you're on the beach. And then during the tourist season, after Memorial Day, you can only have your pets on the beach after 5 p.m.
So after 5 p.m. is almost nicer sometimes because, you don't have to worry about them getting as hot as they would in the middle of the day.
Absolutely, and you have less people on the beach. It's a lot more calm for your dog. So it's actually a good thing in the summertime to wait until later in the evening to bring your dog on the beach.
And I know we hear all the time about asphalt on your pet's feet getting hot in the summer. What are, I guess kind of the precautions with that, and then the different things that you can do to make sure that they're being safe?
And the rule of thumb is if it's too hot for you, it's too hot for them.
Okay.
So when you go outside to walk your dog, put your foot on the pavement, see if it's too hot for you to hold it there for 5 seconds. If it is, it's too hot for your dog to be walking on the pavement.
Gotcha. And I know I've seen like the little booties and things. Does that really kind of protect their feet, or, is it, I feel like, I don't know if it would just heat it up more. How does that kind of play a role into people that are wanting to protect their dog's feet during the summer?
Sure, so those doggy socks and booties, they definitely work to keep your dog's feet protected if you can get your dog to wear them.
Yeah.
That's always the challenge.
Right, I know. I can't imagine trying to slip socks on either one of mine. That would be a whole adventure in itself. Yeah, and I know another big thing that pet owners kind of worry about during the summer is their pets in vehicles. And I know a lot of cars nowadays, you can kind of keep them running with the key with you. I know my car luckily has that, but even still, to be on the safe side, what are kind of the rules and precautions as far as how long your pet can be in the car, without it running, or things like that, whether you're just running in, safe tips when it comes to that?
Sure. So we always tell people never bring your dog with you if you think you're going to have to go inside for any errands,
Yeah.
even if it's just a minute. You never know when a minute is going to turn into 5 minutes. God forbid something happens, you get stuck in a location, stuck in a store, and your pet is outside in the car. You know, those features in cars where it keeps them running is always great, but
Right.
you never know when those things can fail.
Right.
And unfortunately, all it takes is 2 to 5 minutes of a dog being locked in a hot car for it to become an emergency situation. So it's always best to leave your pet at home when you're running those errands where you're going to have to go inside.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for that. And we will be right back. Hey there, you're watching the Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel. And before the break, we were talking to Jess and Lindsay about different summer pet safety tips. Jess is the executive director at the Grand Strand Humane Society, and Lindsay is the president of the board of directors. So with those, how did you initially get involved with the Humane Society?
So I am lucky to have been involved for more than 10 years now, and actually I started with the Humane Society back when I was attending Coastal Carolina. I did my internship at Grand Strand.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then when I moved back to the area a couple years later, I was just looking to get back involved in the community and do some part-time work, and I fell in love with working there. I started working in the kennels with our dogs and cats, and have done basically every position at the shelter. So I'm so glad to have been with the shelter this long, and I've loved watching it grow and looking forward to the ways we're going to grow in the future.
Yeah, and so with that job, I'm sure there's a ton of responsibility that comes with that, but what is your favorite part of your job?
Of course, it's working with the animals. So a lot of days, I do have to be in kind of more office setting, but when I can get out there and walk the dogs and work with our cats, that's my favorite, especially seeing medical cases and watching them grow and heal in the shelter is always super rewarding. And then it's also great working with members in the community. It's wonderful when we get to reunite lost pets, when we get to help people who just need assistance with pet food or need help with medical care. We have a vet clinic that helps with those things.
And Lindsay, you are the president of the board of directors, so how did you initially get started with the Humane Society?
So I started volunteering when I first moved to Myrtle Beach around 11 years ago, actually now.
Okay.
I started volunteering, just walking dogs and petting cats. Got into it, and I ended up adopting our dog Nova, and I started coming in a little bit here and there, and then I got a little bit more involved with it, and I joined the board in 2018.
Okay.
And then recently in November 2021 I was elected president.
Wow,
and it's a really exciting time to be part of the Humane Society, and a really exciting time to be part of the board. We've got some wonderful things going on with our capital campaign to build a new shelter, and I'm just really super proud of what we're doing right now in the community. Being part of the board is spreading the good news that what we're doing here.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people see what we're doing and are really proud of the work that we're doing in our community, and I love what we're doing. Seeing the animals find homes. I'm so proud of our volunteers and our staff. They just work really, really hard. They've come through some really difficult times in the last couple of years, and to see all that hard work come to fruition with hopefully a new shelter in the next couple of years is really, really exciting.
Yeah, that is. And both of you said you kind of started as volunteers. So people that are looking to volunteer, either financially or their time, what are some different ways that they can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Like walking dogs is huge right now. We have so many animals that need to get out of their cages. We have a wonderful play yard right up the street. It's an acre play yard.
Oh, wow.
Cut into fourths, and the dogs just love going up and being off leash. We have summertime. We have the play yards have pools and hoses, and they just lose their minds in the play yard. It's just so much fun watching them play, and it's just a wonderful time to watch them release all that energy that they can't just do on plain walks.
Right, of course. And people that may not have the time to donate, how can they donate to you all financially?
Sure, so it's super easy to donate via our website, grandstrandhumanesociety.com. You can choose to become a monthly donor, which is such a great way for us to be able to count on that income every month and know that we can help those animals and pay those medical bills with those recurring donors. So anyone looking to get involved on a regular basis, it's a great way to really support our medical program there at the shelter. And then for volunteers who might not have a ton of time to walk the dogs, we have special events that you can volunteer with. There's a way for everyone to get involved, whether it's financially, through your time, or even fostering at home.
Wonderful. And for people at home, you know, that may not know, how much does it kind of cost you guys per pet to house a pet at the shelter?
So it can vary drastically. You know, a kitten that comes in and gets adopted quickly might not cost too much for the shelter.
Right.
But we get animals that need emergency surgery, and that can be sometimes up to $10,000 for one animal. So we're committed no matter what it takes.
Well, that is wonderful. And I'm so thankful that you guys were able to volunteer and spend that time with animals, you know, in our area that needed a little extra love and a little extra support, and are able to kind of share that news about people at home that are interested in doing the same. And when we come back from our break, we'll actually meet a few animals at the shelter that are looking for new homes. Welcome back to the Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel. I mentioned earlier on the show that we have a few more special guests that are going to be joining us. So we have got Shamrock and Cinco, who are adoptable pets currently at the shelter. So Shamrock, you ready for your moment in the spotlight?
Hey, buddy.
Hi, Shamrock. So for folks at home that may be interested in adopting Shamrock or, you know, another pet at the shelter, what are some of the things that people need to, I guess, consider before bringing a new pet into their home?
Absolutely. So the biggest thing that we always tell people is it's going to take an adjustment period. A new animal is not going to come into the home and adjust immediately overnight. So you have to be willing to put in that time, put in that work, and work with your new pet to make that adjustment happen.
Right. And then is it a little different? Look how perfect he is, just laying down. How sweet. And is it, you know, even more of an adjustment if you, say, already have pets at home?
Absolutely. So we'll work with an adopter and make sure it's a good fit for their current pets at home, make sure everyone's going to get along. We do the best we can to do those introductions ahead of time. But once you're in the home, it's going to be a different story. You know, you have existing animals in the home. Your new pet's going to have to adjust to their routines as well as your family's routine.
And then as far as Shamrock specifically, you are cute as can be. What are, you know, some specific things that maybe Shamrock would be looking for in a future family?
So Shamrock is great with other animals. He did great with Chili and
Yeah,
Theo
he did.
here. And he seems to be good with cats as well and kids. He's about
Awesome.
6 years old, but still has a great energy level.
Yeah.
And you know, he's a great size for someone who might be living in an apartment or a townhome, who's looking for something a little bit smaller, but still wants a dog that can go on nice walks with them.
Wonderful. And I know coming off of, you know, COVID, a lot of people were home, and so they felt like adopting a pet was the right thing for them. But now people are transitioning to going back into the workplace. I guess, what are some tips for people that you have that may have been adjusted to being at home with pets all the time, and then now, you know, transitioning to leaving their pet alone for a while?
Yeah, so we recommend doing it gradually. You know, don't go straight from being at home with your pet for all day and then being gone for 10 hours at a time.
Gotcha.
Try to do it slowly. Leave for an hour at a time, then 3 hours, then 5 hours, and build yourself up. We recommend using a crate if your pet might be nervous without you being home. You can crate train them. It's always a great tool to have because, he's talking now.
Yeah.
He agrees on the crate training.
Yeah. he heard crate and was excited. And then we also have Cinco, and Cinco is tiny, y'all. So how old is Cinco?
Cinco is only 6 weeks old, and actually Lindsay has bottle fed Cinco for the last 3 weeks. He is named Cinco because he came in on Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, how sweet.
And so Lindsay is one of our foster parents as well. And that's a great way for people to get involved, especially during the summertime. If you're looking for a way for your kids to get involved and learn how to raise an animal, they can help with bottle feeding kittens, or if you want something a little older, just watching them grow up and learning that responsibility. It's a great way for kids to get involved.
That is an awesome idea to think of, you know, for people that aren't 100% sure that they're ready for a full commitment of a pet long term, you know, being able to foster and help out the shelter and kind of learn those skills for themselves. And what are some of the qualifications for fostering?
So we just ask that you have a separate area of your home for your new foster pets, just so that they can acclimate to the home without having to be in this full stress of the other pets in the home. But we supply everything you need, the food, the medical care, all of the supplies. Grand Strand Humane Society will give all of that to the foster parents.
Wow.
You just give the space and the love.
Oh, that's awesome. And for people that may be looking to take that, big step and do adoption, what are your adoption requirements and how can people begin the adoption process?
The easiest way to get started is fill out an application on our website.
Okay.
That will give our adoption counselor just some basic information so that they can contact you, have more of a lengthy conversation to make sure that we're going to make the right match. And then we'll set up an hour-long appointment time to show you some dogs, or you can come in and look at our cats at our Tanger location.
Yeah.
And we'll move forward from there.
Well, wonderful. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us today. And thank you, Cinco and Shamrock and Chili and Theo, for being a big part of our Pets Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel segment. If you're interested in adopting Shamrock or Cinco or any of the other pets at the Grand Strand Humane Society, you can visit their website at www.grandstrandhumanesociety.com.